Smackdown starts off with Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre was making his entrance, but he ends up getting interrupted during his entrance due to Cody Rhodes attacking him. They brawl. Cody ends up getting the upper hand. Drew McIntyre ends up running away. Then you end up getting Cody Rhodes. He ends up cutting a really good promo, really passionate, very angry promo. Ends up mentioning Drew McIntyre, ends up mentioning Jacob Fatu, mentions Drew McIntyre eliminating him in the Royal Rumble, ends up mentioning Roman and Punk having their WrestleMania main event match. And then he eventually ends up saying that Drew McIntyre isn't going to make it to WrestleMania as WWE champion. Then this later in the show, we end up getting Jacob Fatu kind of doing the same thing as Cody, just without cutting a promo. He ended up attacking Drew McIntyre, and he ends up standing tall. Drew McIntyre was just getting his ass whooped the entire show. Then later in the show, Drew McIntyre finally ends up getting a promo because throughout the show, Drew McIntyre kept trying to cut a promo but couldn't due to Cody Rhodes and Jacob. Towards like the last 30 minutes of the show, Drew McIntyre was finally able to cut a promo. He addressed Jacob, addressed Cody, ends up mentioning how they should be both banned from getting qualifying matches of the Elimination Chamber. Then he addressed what Roman and Punk said about him last week. Ends up mentioning that he's the #1 champ, mentions the legacy of the WWE Championship and how he's the top guy, and that basically that he understands why Roman decided to choose CM Punk as his opponent and that he is the real best in the world. I like what they did here. I like what they're doing with this feud between the three. Now, I love the promo that they cut with Cody. It's funny how they always book Cody better without the championship, which is very strange because Cody is good. Cody is great. Cody is good when he has a feud that you actually book him well in. Like, Cody is great. I like when Cody is more serious, when he's not this cookie cutter babyface. I like when he's more serious. Anytime when he's in a serious feud, he cooks. Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, Roman, of course. Like, anytime you put him in a more serious situation, he delivers. I like what they're doing with Jacob. I like what they're doing with Drew McIntyre as well. Now, the only concern I have with this is next week you have Cody, Jacob, and Sami Zayn in a qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber. That is a bit confusing to me because if Drew McIntyre is not going to interfere in the match, why is Cody and Jacob in the same qualifying match? That's the only thing that's confusing me because I can't look. I don't mind if Sami is not in the Elimination Chamber. I don't. It's just that why do it at the expense of Jacob and Cody potentially not being in? Now, I do think Drew McIntyre will interfere due to Cody and Jacob attacking him this week. So I do think Sami will win this match due to Drew McIntyre. But if Sami don't win this match, why are we sacrificing Cody and Jacob? Like, why are we? That's the only thing that's not making sense to me. So I'm assuming Sami has to win this match here, and they're going to have Jacob and Cody lose due to Drew McIntyre. Because that's the only thing that's making sense here. Because if you're just going to have Sami lose anyway, you could have just had Cody and Jacob both in the match, just have them have two separate qualifying matches. That's just me personally. But I like what they're doing here. I don't know if I want to see this as a WrestleMania match, mainly due to the fact that we have seen this feud for about like 6 months by now, maybe even longer, because Cody and Drew have been feuding for a while, and then Drew and Jacob was also feuding as well for a bit. So I'm not sure if I want to see this for a Mania match, but if you add a potential fourth member, I would be a lot more interested. If you had Sami or even a Randy Orton, I think it would make it a lot more interesting. So we'll see how this plays out, but I am enjoying the feud. I am back on this feud when originally I didn't care that much, but I am back on the feud. I am finding it entertaining, so I am interested to see how this unfolds. We get a women's tag team championship match between Rhea Ripley, Io Sky versus Kiana James and Julia. This was actually a really good match. I really enjoyed it. Kiana James looked great in this match. Very shocking how this match ended with Julia taking the pin. I'm very shocked by this because I thought they would protect Julia due to her being the U.S. champion. So I'm very shocked they went the more unpredictable route. Now, I know some people, typically I don't like when champions get pinned, but in this scenario, I don't mind it because for one, it was Rhea Ripley that pinned her. So getting pinned by Rhea isn't a big deal. And two, let's just be honest, Julia is not that big. It's Julia, like no offense to Julia. I get that she's champion, but she's not that over and no one really cares. Let's just be honest. So it's like, it's not that big of a deal because this doesn't ruin her reputation because no offense to Julia, she didn't have much of a reputation to begin with from the crowd perspective. So it's like, I'm not really tripping off it. And I like that they protect Kiana because I like Kiana. I think she's extremely underrated. I've been high on Kiana since her NXT days. So I'm excited. I'm happy that they actually protect her because this gives me a little bit of hope that they see something in her. Now, I don't know if that means main event picture, but at least the fact that they're already protecting her and giving her some pins and not having her get pinned all the time, shows that they at least see something in her. Maybe some, I don't know if that means main event scene, but they see something. So I'm glad that she didn't take the pin. I like what they did here. Later in the show, Lash and Nia ended up confronting Rhea Ripley, Io Sky. So next week is going to be a tag team championship match between Nia Jax and Lash Legend, which should be a good match. Excited to see how that plays. I'm assuming Rio will retain there. It makes the most sense, but it is a more realistic option of Nia and Lash dethroning not Liv Morgan. I was thinking of the Judgment Day. I'm so used to the Judgment Day having the women's tag team titles, but Rio probably is going to retain her, but there is a more realistic option of Nia and Lash becoming your new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. We get a match between Carmelo Hayes and The Miz. This wasn't an open challenge, thank God. It was a match just basically where The Miz was trying to get a U.S. title match, but Melo ends up declining it, and Melo is still trying to prove himself to Ilya, so they end up having this match, non-title match. This was a good match. Towards the end of the match, Melo did a sick reversal to the Skull Crusher finale. The Miz went for it, and Melo rolled out of it as he was landing on the ground, which I thought was sick. Ends up hitting a code breaker, ends up picking up the victory. I like what they did here. Don't know what you do next with Melo, because I like the open challenge. I do think it could get a bit repetitive. Now, I don't mind the open challenges if you bring in new opponents, because one of the flaws with the open challenges with the way WWE is booking is that they do repetitive opponents. If you do new opponents every week, it wouldn't be as bad, but sometimes they do a bit of repetitiveness with their opponents. So I don't know what's next with Carmelo. I do hope they eventually add a story to him, because I do think you could still do the open challenges while doing a story at the same time with someone else. So I'm hoping they do something along those lines, but nonetheless, I like what they did here. They may end up continuing the Miz feud. Don't know. I don't know how I feel about that if they continue the Miz feud, because part of me says they probably should. The other part of me says they shouldn't. So I don't know. We'll see how this plays out, but I like what they did here overall. The women's Elimination Chamber qualifying match, we end up getting Tiffany Stratton versus Lash Legend versus Chelsea Green. This match was really good. I'm very shocked that Chelsea Green was the most over person in this match, which is kind of crazy to think about, to be honest with you. Now, I don't know if it was just the crowd just liked Chelsea Green more tonight. I don't know if it was because the recent Unreal stuff with WWE saying that Chelsea Green is forever going to be stuck in the mid-card, and then Chelsea Green responds to that. I don't know, but Chelsea Green was the most over in this match. We knew Chelsea Green wasn't going to win. It was obvious Tiffany Stratton was going to win this match, but I'm not mad at it. Now, I am a bit confused on why Lash Legend isn't in the Elimination Chamber, because you gave her the most eliminations in the Royal Rumble, but not put her in the chamber. I'm a bit confused. Now, I don't hate this idea, because I'm assuming that they're going to make it very star heavy in this match. That's the only reason why you shouldn't put Lash Legend, because unless you're gonna, because I'm assuming Alexa Bliss may be in it. I'm assuming Charlotte Flair is going to be in it as well. I don't think Rhea Ripley and Io Sky would be in it, but who knows? If they put them in it, it makes more sense. They may end up putting Bayley or Lyra. So depending on who's in the match, I won't mind it as much, but it is a bit confusing on why Lash Legend isn't in this match. For Tiffany Stratton, it makes sense why Tiffany Stratton, she is one of the more over women on SmackDown, so it makes perfect sense. Plus, she has a direct story with Jade Cargill, so it makes sense why she won this match. Wish Chelsea Green would have won it, but we knew Chelsea Green wasn't going to win it. Chelsea Green is just amazing. She's someone that I've been clamoring to be in the main event scene for over a year and a half now, to be honest. Will she ever get in the main event scene? Who knows, but let's hope one day she is, because I've been saying for the longest time that Chelsea Green is a main event. I think the women's SmackDown women's division is missing a character like a Chelsea Green in the main event, in my opinion. We'll see eventually if one day she gets there, but Chelsea Green does make it to the elimination chamber, so we'll see how that unfolds. Now, I do want to mention Kit Wilson. He was cutting a promo, and he basically ends up calling out any person that was in the men's Royal Rumble to come out and face him. Oba Femi ends up accepting the challenge, and man, Oba Femi crowd reactions are just amazing. I am so glad that he is getting the crowd reaction he is getting, because I am so high on Oba, man. I hope that Triple H books him well. I am hoping they book him. I hope they give him the 2002 to 2003 Brock Lesnar push. Like, I am praying for that. I don't think it's going to happen, but they need to book him like a god. Like, I'm going to be honest. He needs to be the most unstoppable force in WWE. I am hoping that they do not fumble this, and I hope that they actually book him the way he's supposed to be presented. He accepts it, and he just comes out and destroys Kit Wilson, which I thought was great. I don't mind this at all. Like I said, eventually they are going to have to give him some real credible opponents. But for right now, I don't mind this at all. And I'm just glad that the crowd is chanting the Oba Femi chant. I'm glad that they are doing the signature Oba chant. The thing is, the moment that the lights turn green, they are immediately knowing and recognizing that is Oba. Like, so I'm so happy that Oba is getting this type of reaction. Let's just hope that Triple H don't fumble this. I pray that they don't fumble this with Oba. It's very hard to fumble someone like Oba, but with Triple H booking, it's a 50-50 chance, we're gonna be honest. I'm not as low or as like critical as Triple H as most fans, because I don't think he's a bad booker. I think he can have his moments. I think he's okay. He's decent, but he does have his moments of bad booking. So let's hope that he don't fumble this. I don't think he will, but we can only pray. We end up getting Liv Morgan. She comes out, cuts a promo, gets interrupted by Jade. Jade basically ends up saying that if Liv Morgan choose her at WrestleMania, she's basically going to destroy her and that she's not going to win. Then she confronts Raquel. Then you get Jordan Grace comes out. This leads to an argument. Nick Aldis makes this a tag match between Judgment Day versus versus Jordan Grace and Jade Cargill. They put on a match. The match was decent. We end up getting Jordan Grace getting the pinfall over Raquel via a roll-up. And it was a moment where Raquel accidentally kicked Liv Morgan, so that's going to cause tension for the millionth time in the Judgment Day, which I don't think you needed that, to be honest with you. I understand why they did it, but to be fair, you already had the Royal Rumble elimination, and you already had last week with Liv Morgan interfering in the match. I don't think you really needed this to elevate the story, but we'll see how this plays out. Now we already know what they're probably going to do. They're going to tease them arguing, and then they're going to make up in the end like they always do with the Judgment Day. But next week, we are getting the first title defense of Jade Cargill against Jordan Grace, which is finally, goddamn. Look, I'm not as critical as Jade Cargill as most people. I do get the criticism because she has flaws. I have criticized her, but a lot of things that y'all criticize her, it's not her fault. It's not her fault she doesn't defend her title. It's not. That's booking. I can't criticize Jay for that. In-ring wise, fine. I'm cool with you criticizing her there because she does need work. I don't think she's dog shit. She's mid, but I don't think she's dog shit. But the defending her title, that's something you can't criticize her for, because when Tiffany Stratton was defending her title, all you guys complained it was against the same people. So it's like, it's a double-edged sword because SmackDown's women's roster isn't that strong anyway. So I do agree that she should defend her title, but if she was to defend her title, it would be against jobbers for the most part, because Tiffany Stratton was out and Nia Jax was in the tag division. So it's like, it's kind of a lose-lose, to be honest with you. So we'll see how the match plays out. I'm actually excited for the match. Jade did well in the promo segment against Liv Morgan. She didn't say much, which is great because she shouldn't be saying much. So I am excited for this Jordan Grace and Jade Cargill match. I'm very interested to see how it ends, because they may end up doing like a DQ or a double count out to protect Jordan Grace and Jade Cargill. So I'm interested to see how they book that. We end up getting a main event. We end up getting Solo Sikoa, Aleister Black, Randy Orton, Elimination Chamber qualifying match. This was a really good match. Randy Orton does pick up the victory. I did like the way they ended the match, because it was the moment where Randy had his back turned. He was pretending like his back was hurting. Solo looked like he was about to go for Samoa Spike, but they ended up just having Randy Orton doing a RKO out of nowhere onto Solo, which I thought was great. I'm glad that the Wyatt Six did not interfere in this match. Thank God, because I was like, the Wyatt Six were going to interfere and have Randy win. Thank God that did not happen, because I do not want to see no Wyatt Six interfering in that match. So thank you that did not happen. I'm hoping that we eventually get that feud over with. But Randy Orton advanced to the Elimination Chamber as he should. Enter to see who else will be in that match, especially with Cody and Jacob being in the same Elimination Chamber qualifying match. So that should be very interesting. Overall show, this was a really good show. I really enjoyed SmackDown. This was a really good SmackDown. I really enjoyed it. You guys let me know your overall thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my content. But yeah, that's it.